See? Welcome. My
People just walking around with safety vests. It's just like, maybe I'm just
tie them on the bottom. So they don't flap in the wind and take you again.
I think you got to get them out of here, though.
Let me see. We don't want that to happen when they recording.
No.
If there's a way we can tie it like this and keep them still, you know, they'll be fine. Let me see. Let's see if we can tie it on each other. Gotta have it.
It has to be like a shoestring.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I got two.
Because none of them are connected on the bottom. Oh, this one is. Definitely good stuff. We do this in the fall. I am not either, sir.
Definitely got to take that DOJ one down. That's falling twice.
I don't have nothing in the car either.
What about these for this? Is that like against protocol or whatever?
To wrap it around.
No, to tie these.
I don't think nobody noticed it. Let's try from the back. We can try to hide it like this.
Yeah, but you
We gotta flap something over this. This is new.
just get rid of the green.
Get rid of the grim. You don't like that? But I have a feeling we knew the gray one, that one gonna fall. Because it's on the end. You didn't want to just add that one in there?
Look, you can't even really see it because
You can't.
I can get my shoelace for that one.
You're gonna take a shoelace out your shoe, and then you're gonna be walking around with it. And we can put it low where they can't see it.
Yeah.
I promise to give you your shoelace back.
Better.
Where is Al? They're kind of late. Oh. Whoops.
That's enough of these guys.
Sacrifices we make. I think we're good.
We'll see.
All right.
Let's be watching it. afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. We did not turn the air conditioning up.
I know.
Set this in. I knew you were going to bring that.
Yeah. I'll do paper one of these days.
What's that?
There we go. Can we do this? Yeah, we can. That'll work. All right. Go. I feel good out here. I feel good about now.
I'm glad you did.
All right.
That's all that matters.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I had wanted us to convene in the air conditioning inside, but JT insisted on convening out here in the sun, so you can blame him. No, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. My name is Alex Ubaez. I'm the United States Attorney here in the District of New Mexico. People come to our country, people come to America for freedom. They come here for opportunity. They come here for their families. But there are those who don't care about families, and they don't care about freedom. Transnational criminal organizations who don't care if a mother is left in the desert or a child drowns in a river. They don't care if a 17-year-old driver dies in a high-speed chase, or if we catch him and prosecute him and we send him to prison for life. This monster relies on the desperation of the wretched refuse, the teeming shore of the Rio Grande. This money machine turns broken bodies and dreams of human beings into mansions and Corvettes and violence. This monster is named greed. Greed drives us apart. Greed convinces human beings that other human beings are merely a means to money. In the United States and for the U.S. Attorney's Office, our victims are our victims no matter where they are born. We protect vulnerable communities, no matter their citizenship. And all migrants are our charges and our clients. They do not become victims only in death. They're living members of a public that we all protect. And so here in this country that's made up of many countries, it is our job for the people up here to create justice, to equal the playing field, to enforce order without a default idea of who is deserving of our protection and who is deserving of our punishment. To do something that doesn't work in theory, which is to be truly a nation of nations. Because here in the United States, every person deserves to be safe, and it is our job up here in federal law enforcement, the Department of Justice, to deliver on this promise for everyone. And so as federal law enforcement, our true power is going on the offensive, proactively targeting those who profit off of the misery of many. This is the Justice Department at its best. It's the Department of Homeland Security at its best. That's why every southwestern border U.S. attorney, from California to Arizona to New Mexico to Texas, has joined together in a unified effort to target, command and control elements of transnational organizations. In this group, which is called Joint Task Force Alpha, we come together across districts, across agencies, across borders, to confront an enemy who exploits our reliance on false distinctions to make their millions. They exploit our borders for their profit. The monster of greed doesn't believe in borders, and borders are lines that we've drawn to help us administer a big and complicated world. But reality, everything is interconnected, and so that's why Joint Task Force Alpha stands together to address these issues. Drugs, as you know, flow north of our border, driving addiction and overdose. Addiction drives all form of maladies, including theft and sale of firearms in exchange for drugs. Those firearms flood south to the cartels, who use them to drive violence and misery south of our border in Mexico and Central America. And this violence and misery, poverty and exploitation, endemic to a region run by greed, drives more migrants north across our border looking for safety. And so if our problems know no borders, neither should our solutions. We will bring the weight of the federal government to bear on the monster of greed through indictments, through money seizures, through asset forfeiture and extradition to receive justice in our great nation. Border security is about neighbors taking care of neighbors, east and west across the Southwest, north and south across our international border, to bring relief, protection, and hope for the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And by breaking down our borders, by pooling our resources, we live up to our mission as the only department named for a value grounded in the universality of human experience, the basic right to dignity, the right to safety, your Department of Justice. So today in this nation of nations, it's my privilege to announce yet another victory in the fight against greed. Today we unseal another indictment against Ronaldo Galindo Lopez Escobar as we dismantle another arm of his human smuggling operation that spans from Guatemala through Mexico and here into the United States. In doing so, we bring charges against 7 additional people, 2 of whom are in custody this morning. We're forfeiting over $500,000 in proceeds, a Corvette, and seizing 11 bank accounts. And we're excited to announce that the United States Department of Treasury has sanctioned the Lopez human smuggling organization, thereby blocking all property of the organization and prohibiting all transactions with the organization from folks in the United States. In these actions, we bring the fight overseas to the transnational criminal organizations and their leadership. No longer will you profit in safety off of the migrants who suffer, the low drivers who take the risk, and who take the fall for your greed. And so our message to the Tioronis of the world, to the transnational criminal organizations who so far have profited and counted their money in safety, is that we are coming for you. Thank you all. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Acting Special Agent in charge of the Homeland Security Investigations, J.T. Stevens.
Good morning. My name is J.T. Stevens. I am the Acting Special Agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations here in El Paso. HSI El Paso is composed of the state of New Mexico, West Texas to include El Paso proper. I am honored and excited to be here today because it's an opportunity where we've been able to bring justice to a criminal organization. I'm excited to be here with our law enforcement partners in a unity of effort because these organizations are now working together to exploit individuals, and we're working together to put them away. This allows HSI El Paso to express our gratitude to our partners in this effort. Identifying, apprehending, and aiding in the prosecution of human smugglers is one of HSI's priorities. Criminal organizations such as the Lopez crime family not only jeopardize the safety of lives of people that they prey on for profit and greed, but they also threaten the security of the United States. While these individuals come here for the American dream, what they encounter is the American nightmare, which is greed. HSI El Paso has been investigating this network for approximately 2.5 years in conjunction with the U.S. Attorney's Office, as well as our partners, the United States Border Patrol. The Lopez crime family was a large-scale international human smuggling organization that was responsible for smuggling undocumented non-citizens from the Northern Triangle up through Mexico into the United States, as well as other countries around the world. It was also responsible for the movement of millions of dollars in U.S. currency and proceeds through our banking system. During our investigation, HSI agents identified over $10 million that were moved through banking systems that were related to this transnational criminal activity over the past 3 years. In June of 2023, we stood here together and we announced the first round of indictments, which resulted in 10 indictments and 7 arrests. Since then, HSI has continued our investigation. We went down to Guatemala and spoke with their government officials to be able to discuss the case and pursue options there, as well as meeting with our own special agents and our transnational criminal investigative units to pursue actions in Guatemala. In April of 2024, HSI special agents from our Los Angeles field office seized $518,000 from Elvis Lopez Ambrosio. Those assets were obtained as proceeds from human smuggling. Last month, our special agents in San Jose, California, arrested Elvis Lopez Ambrosio on criminal warrants that were filed out of the District of New Mexico for this very investigation. Lopez Ambrosio is the main target and a leader of one of the smuggling cells. HSI also seized his 2023 Chevrolet Corvette that was valued at $207,000 that was purchased with illicit proceeds. And in June, HSI El Paso filed 2 seizure warrants for 4 bank accounts that were held by Elvis Lopez Ambrosio. Nearly $158,000 was seized from those accounts. Today marks a significant milestone as we proudly unveil the outcome of a successful investigation, culminating in the indictment of high-ranking members of the Lopez crime family. This case unequivocally illustrates the unwavering commitment of HSI, the United States Border Patrol, and other DHS partners, along with the Department of Justice, that human smuggling and human smugglers will not operate with impunity in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Bernal. I am the interim deputy chief for the El Paso sector. I'm representing Chief Good today as his acting chief. Everything's pretty much been covered up here already by our partners. I'd like to thank U.S. Attorney Ubayez. I'd like to thank Zach Stevens. This is a great tool that we are using to combat cross-border illicit activity that our TCOs are guilty of. And a couple of things that I would like to highlight. 2 facts. U.S. Border Patrol agents work hard and tirelessly every day to protect America and everybody who finds itself within our borders. Our primary mission, our focus in our mission, is to protect everyone within the U.S. borders and to keep not only America but the world a safer place. But something that we have been seeing here lately that's really troublesome to all of us that you see up here is the number of deaths that we're encountering in the field. This year alone, just fiscal year 24, in El Paso sector, we are up to 140 deaths that our Border Patrol agents and our partners have seen out in the field. That's very troubling to us because not only do we want to focus on border security, but we want to get that number of deaths as close to 0 as possible. Everything that we can do, and I think we can all get on board on this, I think this is common ground for everybody, that it's not okay for people to die in our deserts. And I appreciate this operation. I appreciate our partnerships so that we can work hard on preventing that from happening in the future. Thank you very much.
So let's close my comments with an additional thanks to the men in green who work our checkpoints and out in the field. This heat every single day. And with every one of these encounters, with every distress signal, go out and render aid and try to save lives. And so I appreciate that effort. If there's any, and I'll also flag that as this is an indictment at this stage and an accusation. Let's wait for this to pass. There we go. Thank you, Red Brother in Transit. As this is only an indictment at this stage, these are allegations. There's presumptions of innocence in this country against folks who are accused. This merely means a grand jury has determined that there's enough probable cause to establish these allegations, and is not a final comment on the guilt, which is presumed innocent for every one of these people. Thank you. If there's any questions, I'll take a few.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more how this group operated? Did they promote their services in Central America? Did they work with Mexican traffickers? How did they call for migrants? Did they put them in stash house on this side?
Sure. My ability to speak to this indictment is limited to what is alleged in the public document. I'll tell you generally, in many cases that we see, because this is not an abnormal type of crime for us to investigate, that there are folks in home countries and start countries who do the organizing of folk who want to come to the United States. For every country that they pass through, there must be arrangements made. Especially if you're going to pass through a country like Mexico, the arrangements must be made in partnership with cartel for safety of the folks moving through. And then there are usually cells that operate at the border and on our side of the border to support the crossing and to support the movement of migrants in our country. And while I can speak generally, as I said, I can't speak to the specific facts of this indictment. Any additional questions? Yes, ma'am. Sure, and so I have a number. You'll see I have a number of staff with me. I'll invite you to speak with. There's actually a representative from Joint Task Force Alpha here, Ian Hanna, and I'll invite you to speak with him following these remarks.
Speaking of task force Alpha, can you tell us a little bit more about the cooperation here in this region?
I heard cooperation, but that was about it, sir. My apologies.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about Task Force Alpha's work here?
Absolutely. I told them no driving today, but they didn't listen to me. So Joint Task Force Alpha is a Department of Justice initiative, is one of this Attorney General's first. He announced it, and we all joined from the southwest border, which is the Southern District of California, Arizona, New Mexico, Western District of Texas, Southern District of Texas. All of the U.S. attorneys have donated resources from our staff to work what we call Joint Task Force Alpha cases. The priority for Joint Task, and we do it in close partnership with our friends at DHS, with Border Patrol, with Homeland Security Investigations, and a number of other federal law enforcement agencies. In doing this, we target transnational criminal organizations with a focus on human smuggling. And so the goal is, as I've described, is to target organizations, to look at command and control, and to seize assets so we can really put pressure on the people who make decisions about exploitation of migrants and where to send migrants through, and how to exploit and take more money from them. Any additional questions? Yes, sir.
What are the next steps? Like, what do you see as the future of this investigation and this effort between organizations in terms of cracking down on these types of
Sure. I mean, we're not going to give people heads up on next steps we're going to do investigatively, but what I'll say is this is a really good example of the work that we do, because we announced last year the original set of charges and indictments in June of last year. After that, I think which has resulted, charged 10 people, including Tio Roney, who's the primary in this one. We arrested, charged, and convicted 9 of those 10 people. And then we rolled into this, which is another component of the same organization. And I can promise you we will pursue the prosecution vigorously, and we'll also pursue other avenues within this criminal organization and others to bring justice, to bring indictments, to make seizures, and bring extraditions to the United States.
Do you happen to have a copy of the indictment to pass around?
We do have a copy of the indictment, yes, sir. Thank you all. Very much appreciate your time and bearing the heat. You have a great day.
Is it hot out there? I'm not even sweating. You know? Are you sweating?
Yes.
I assume you're online. I just want to okay,
Oh, it was good. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. New toys. I didn't even notice it the first time up. All right, thank you. There we go.
You know I got you, man.
Okay, thanks.